Despite the heavy torrential rains of the winter or the blazing sun of the summer months, this proud soldier has been standing guard at the bottom of Casemates Hill for the past 20 years. But despite his unwavering presence, he'd become slightly tired. So a group of soldiers from the Royal Gibraltar Regiment decided it was time to treat this dedicated soldier. With the backing of the Grand Battery House Trust, volunteers cleaned up the statue, which is dedicated to all those who've served in the Volunteer Corps, the Gibraltar Defence Force and the Royal Gibraltar Regiment.
The statue really represents Gibraltar's gratitude to the soldiers of the Gibraltar Volunteer Corps, Gibraltar Defence Force and the regiment we have today. In terms of the values it represents, sacrifice, and that really sums up the Gibraltar Defence Force and the regiment. When you look at the Defence Force, it was founded in 1939 in April, so it preceded the Second World War. But that's not to say that the soldiers who signed up for duty didn't know what they were getting themselves in for. They could see the shadow of war starting to envelop Europe. They knew Europe had been destabilised by some important strategic decisions. They signed up for a war. They knew it was coming. Wind the clock forward maybe a year, and you can see that their sacrifice became all the more acute as their wives, their children, their elderly, their loved ones were evacuated from Gibraltar, and it was the GDF along with other units that remained behind to guard Gibraltar against bombardment from the Italians and the Vichy French, and from the ever-present spectre really of German invasion, which never really went away until quite late in the war.
The refurbished statue was unveiled by Minister for Heritage John Cortes, who was accompanied by the well-known Louis Pereira, who served in the Gibraltar Defence Force. The commanding officer of the Royal Gibraltar Regiment, Lieutenant Colonel David King, was present, as were soldiers who were serving and veterans who served in the GDF, including 4 veterans who are now in their 90s and who were part of the 4th intake of the Defence Force in 1945.